You know, in a world that's just buzzing with noise and distractions all the time, how do you actually find any inner peace? Well, today we're going to dive into Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk and really unpack his roadmap for a calmer, more purposeful life. Let's get into it.
So let me just start with a quick question. Do you ever feel completely, totally overwhelmed by modern life? I mean, you're being pulled in a million different directions. You're struggling to find any focus in all that noise. Yeah, it's a feeling a lot of us know. And it's the exact problem this book really tries to solve.
Now, the solution Shetty offers isn't about, just running away from it all. It's actually about bridging that ancient wisdom with our crazy modern reality. He gives you a practical guide to help you navigate the chaos and find real peace, clarity, and a genuine sense of purpose. So, what's the big idea here? What's the concept that drives this entire book? Well, it all comes down to developing what he calls the monk mindset.
And the key word here is practicality. This isn't about escaping to a monastery. No, it's about training your mind right where you are to disconnect from all that negativity and stress coming from the outside. The goal is to find inner peace, even when you've got deadlines and your phone is blowing up with notifications.
Okay, so to help you get there, the book is broken down into this really clear, actionable path. Think of it as a three-part journey that's designed to take you from a state of total distraction to one of true intention.
And here it is, the core framework. Let go, grow, and give. It's not simple. This three-part path is the absolute foundation of the monk mindset. So let's break down what each of these stages really means.
First up, let go. The best way to think about this is like a mental decluttering. It's all about finding and clearing out the junk. The negativity, the fear, the ego. The whole point is to stop that endless cycle of overthinking and just learn to detach from the stresses you can't control. So once you've made some of that mental space, you get to the grow phase. This is where you start to actively build things up. Self-discipline, a sharper focus, and this is the big one. You discover your Dharma. Shetty describes this as that sweet spot where your passion and your skills meet, and you use them to serve others. It's your unique purpose. And the final piece of the puzzle is give. This stage shifts your focus from me to we. This is where the book drives home the point that lasting fulfillment, it doesn't really come from what you get. It comes from what you contribute through gratitude, real relationships, and being of service to others. Okay, so if you were going to walk away with just a few core ideas from this book, what should they be? Let's quickly run through 5 of the most powerful and memorable truths. The first one, and this is huge, is that your mind can be trained just like a muscle. That's a real game changer of an idea, isn't it? It means a calm, focused mind isn't something you're just born with. It's something you actually build through practice, just like doing reps at the gym. Next up, silence and meditation. The book doesn't treat these as some vague spiritual ideas. Nope, they're presented as practical tools. Seriously, think of them like a wrench or a screwdriver for your mind. Tools you can use to clear out the clutter and get some clarity. Oh man, this is a big one for our times. We all know comparing ourselves to others is draining, right? But the book explains how it literally robs us of joy. For instance, Shetty has this great tip. When you feel envy, try to convert it into inspiration. Instead of seeing someone's success as your failure, see it as proof that something is possible. Use it as fuel. This next lesson really asks you to rethink your life's goals. Instead of chasing all those external signs of success, like money or a fancy title, the book argues that what really matters is finding a deep, internal sense of purpose. That's the real measure of a life well lived. And finally, we have the idea that's really the bedrock for the whole monk mindset. True, lasting peace comes from within. It's not something you can buy, it's not something you can acquire, it's something you have to actively cultivate inside yourself. So, after all that, let's get down to the bottom line. Is this book the right guide for you, right now? So here's the breakdown. If you're a student, a professional, or really anyone who's dealing with stress and just wants more focus, this is probably a great fit. And if you're already a fan of mindfulness, you'll feel right at home. But something to keep in mind, if you're already deep into spirituality or have read a ton on this topic, some of the ideas might feel a little basic, maybe a bit repetitive. It's really designed to be accessible to everyone. And that accessibility and impact is reflected in its rating. It earns a really, really strong 4.5 out of 5. It's praised by so many people, not just as a book, but as a genuine, practical guide for living a more meaningful life. So,
We'll leave you with a question that really gets to the heart of this entire book. If it's true that your mind is a muscle, how are you going to begin training yours? Something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.